Greetings, citizens, and welcome back to the Hidden Dagger Inn. Thousands of Steam players are stepping their foot into Verra for the very first time on December 11th, and most of them will make the same frustrating mistakes, like wasting glint or ignoring their scrolls, choosing bad nodes, or just burning out on professions by day 3. But not you. This video is going to reveal the insider knowledge from Alpha 1 testers and other veteran players on how you can go ahead and level faster, earn more, and support your node like a pro. One of the first things you're going to learn is just how valuable Glint is. You can right click on your Glint and combine the stacks to save inventory space. That being said, I wouldn't go any higher than a blue, a glowing Glint. If you go any higher, it could very well come back to bite you in the butt. As an example, I once had a Glint, an epic Glint, which was worth 10 gold. Well, I died and fell in the lava, and I lost 8 gold of that. So if you're in a long grind session, make sure you guys are going back regularly to repair and either store or sell your glint. Now, speaking of selling glint, you're going to need it for caravans, mule crates, and market commodities, and especially for purchasing node tax receipts later. Many new players are going to sell their glint because they need to repair or want to buy something. It's okay to use it for repairs if you have no money, but try to save the majority of it. That currency will turn into much more currency used on a commodity crate or on a caravan. It'll far outweigh what you would have gotten from the vendor. Another mistake many players make early is ignoring the commission boards, whether it's the gathering or the kill task or the scouting missions or just simple drop-off jobs. These boards reward experience, tickets, and glint, and often offer the scrolls that you need to boost your turn-ins. The mayoral commission boards deserve special attention because completing them benefits the entire node by granting buffs, gathering, crafting, or processing, or even sometimes adventuring experience. It also helps you earn reputation needed to purchase higher level commodities later on. Speaking of commissions and turning them in, it's tempting to turn them in immediately, but you'll gain far more experience if you're patient. I believe you can hold up to 30 quests, which refreshes the town boards every hour. Save your commissions until you have a 5-minute adventuring scroll, and then turn them in while the buff is active. You will multiply your experience dramatically. Also, it's important to remember that experience is tied to where you turn it in, not to where you pick it up. If you want to help level a specific node, collect your commissions everywhere, but save them and then complete them when you're back in the zone that you want to grow. Now, this same principle applies to, let's say, processing scrolls, because timing matters. Don't make the mistake of pulling items out of your processing station and using a 5-minute scroll just before you take them out, as you're not going to get any extra experience for that. You need to use your processing scroll before you actually start the project if you want the proper benefit. Another common mistake players make are ignoring the tickets. Tickets are very important for commodity crates and reputation vendors. They build up faster than you think if you're paying attention. One of the best sources early on is the construction crate deliveries, which reward 4,000 experience and 11 tickets per crate. You can find these crate stations in Briarmore or Avon's Inn near the agricultural building. While you're there, you can also, at least last PTR, you could buy a mule for 34 copper at the herbalism vendor, then cook it for 75 silver at the same spot. This is going to let you carry 2 crates instead of 1, drastically improving your efficiency and helping your node develop faster. And while we're talking about node progression, make sure you're visiting the requisition vendor early and often. Early game materials are far easier to obtain, and turning them in is going to earn you a steady stream of tickets. You're going to go ahead and get that node progression along with the much needed node reputation that you can use to sell higher rarity commodity certificates later on if you so choose. Waiting until later makes requisitions much harder because the buy orders often step up and are more complex requirements. Now, this next tip is really more from personal experience, and it might not be the same for you. But professions are another place that players tend to get stuck. It can be tempting to want to do everything at once, like New World, but that's a good way to burn yourself out fast. Now, remember, you're only going to be able to be proficient in 5 professions. You'll have 2 grandmasters, 1 master, 1 journeyman, and 1 apprentice. And trying to do, let's say, all the gathering skills at once is you're going to find yourself filling the bags constantly. Stuff's not going to fit. You're going to have to destroy it. You're going to be running back to the node constantly to sell it. Not to mention, if you do decide to do foregathering, you're going to need the apprentice, journeyman, master, grandmaster tools, which granted, they are less expensive now, but that's still a lot of materials that you need to come up with. My recommendation to new players would be pick one main profession and really learn it and get good at it. Choose ones that work well together, that synergize well. For example, mining and jewelry or fishing and cooking. Focusing your efforts also helps you understand the market so you can better learn how to spend less time trying to find out what price you want to put it on the marketplace for. And it's also important because in this game, we can't do everything by ourselves. So we have to trust our guildies, or if you're solo, you'll make some friends with, say, your local carpenter. And if he does a good job and he's timely, you'll use him again. You'll add him to friends, and the next time you need an order, you'll look to him. One of the things I like to do is I have a second account, as I've mentioned before. So I'll often make my second account my processor. So say he'll be a lumber miller. I'll bring the wood, give it to him, and sometimes it can take up to 3 to 4 hours to process that lumber. So he just sits there and goes fishing while the lumber processes. It gets a big lump of experience, and that's one way he levels up. And that means you can have an extra gathering profession on your main since he's doing your processing for that. Speaking of second accounts, it's important to remember that these need to be on separate computers and you actually need to be, playing of both. Macros are not allowed, so don't think you can sit there and do that. And also, it's important to remember that it looks like Intrepid is going to move their launcher over to strictly to Steam, where you won't be able to run two accounts on the same Steam either. So you're going to need to have another Steam account. So if you're planning on doing that, make sure you consider that. Another major decision that all new players and all players in general are going to have is their archetype choice. Measure twice and cut once, because you can't change your primary class later. Secondary augments will eventually offer a flavor of enhancements, but nothing that fully transform your build. Think of Archage Ancestral System, something like a Ranger Rogue combination where the Rogue influence might give improved camouflage. Pick a primary class that you genuinely enjoy to play long term. Now, a new feature to the game that I love and I believe many players are going to enjoy is the Destiny system. So when you get into the game, hit the key L and make sure you're taking full advantage of this system. It's going to give you rewards, gold, and guidance while steering you towards activity that you might not naturally attempt. It's essentially an early game boost to help you explore more of Ashes of Creation. Now, let's talk about quests for a second. Read them. Yes, I know it sounds obvious, but it's extremely important in Ashes. While the questing system is still in its early stages, new quests are being added in all the time, and some have branching decisions. Coming from Alpha 1 where quests were plentiful, reading them made all the difference between moving forward and being totally stuck. If you click through everything without paying attention, you might miss a direction, pick a wrong answer, or block yourself from a quest chain altogether. Don't rush the quests unless you've done them before. Now for money making. It's time to put to use that glint that you saved or the tickets that you worked so hard for. Understand that there are three different types of commodity crates: market commodities, guild commodities, and community commodities. Each one of these offers different ways to pay for or rewards based on the distance that you've gone and the type of rarity that you have. Market commodity crates are purchased with glint and often offer the best gold returns. Guild commodities are going to provide you with tokens used to level your guild. You can also sell them on the marketplace, and they seem to sell pretty well. Community commodities are also bought with tickets instead of glint. So the reward seems to be much like the market crates, but just offer a different way to pay for them. So now all that reputation that you earned is going to allow you to buy certificates at a higher rarity level. And they act like an ingredient to determine the crate quality. So let's say if you have all legendary materials, but you have a common certificate, your crate will not be legendary. You can use tools like the Ashes Codex that can help you calculate exactly what you'll need for crafting and planning your crates. Finally, let's cover the nodes and the citizenship. Because one, you're going to need to be level 10 before you can go ahead and become a citizen. Two, you're going to need to be level 10 before you can sell anything on the marketplace. Don't wait too long to become a citizen of a node, because the longer you wait, the more tax receipts it's going to cost you to join later. It's also important to note that your main character, wherever he or she becomes a citizen of, will count for all of your alts. So no longer are you able to level an alt and help influence an election. And since taxes can be really high, and usually this happens when everybody runs to Winstead, Jova, or Mirrorlip, don't feel like you have to go there. Take your guild out and go to the desert and level up an area out there, or the Turquoise Sea, where the harbors and the caravels are going to be really important, or even to the Jundark. Don't pigeonhole yourself into one area. Because also, when choosing a node, most likely the nodes that I mentioned previously, Winstead, Jova, and Mirrorlip, are going to be run by the top guilds on the server, which means that their mayor might have problems with some other guilds when you're becoming a citizen. Whatever problems that mayor has can quickly become your problems too. So choose a mayor with experience, diplomacy, and leadership qualities. Someone who can negotiate for alliances and work for the greater good of Verra, instead of dragging the entire node into endless sieges and wars. Speaking of good leadership, Aura is always looking for good, well-balanced players that have a PvP first mindset. If you're new to the game or an old player returning and looking for a home, come check us out and I'll leave the link in the description below. And if you're still here at the end of the video, first I want to say thanks for watching, and as always, may your caravans find safe passage. Take care, Verra, and I'll see you on the 11th.